The Man Who Refused to Choose, A Tale of Diogenes and the Two Roads. In the bustling heart of ancient Corinth, where the air tasted of salt and ambition, lived a man who owned nothing but a wooden tub and a fierce, unblinking mind. This was Diogenes. One afternoon, a young traveler named Cleon approached the philosopher's humble dwelling. Cleon's face was a map of anxiety. "Sage," he whispered, "I have reached the great crossroads, and I am paralyzed. Which path leads to the life I am meant to live?" Diogenes didn't look up at first. He was busy squinting into the sunlight. Finally, he turned his gaze upon the young man. "The great crossroads?" he echoed, his voice like dry parchment. "You speak of it as if the gods carved it into the earth for your benefit. Tell me, Cleon, are you afraid of making the wrong choice? Or are you afraid that both choices are merely well-decorated lies?" Diogenes stood, his joints popping like dry twigs, and beckoned Cleon to follow. They walked to the edge of the city, where the land split in two. To the left, a road of polished white marble stretched toward a gleaming golden city, lined with statues of heroes. To the right, a narrow dirt path wound into the shadows of a quiet forest, disappearing into a silver mist that smelled of rain. Cleon's eyes were drawn to the marble. "The left road promises security," he mused. "It leads to the halls of power and the comfort of a legacy. But the right road, they say, it is the path of the wise, though it looks lonely and cold." Diogenes snorted. "You seek a safe illusion," the old man said. "You want a cage that is gilded, so you might forget you are a prisoner." Diogenes raised his lantern, though the sun had not yet set. "I carry this light to find an honest man," he said, the flame dancing in his pupils. "But most men I find are merely collections of masks. If you take the marble road, you will wear the mask of a master. If you take the dirt road, you may wear the mask of a martyr. Neither mask is your face." "But I must be someone," Cleon cried, his voice cracking. "If I do not choose, I will be forgotten by history. I will have no name, no story, no impact on the world." Diogenes stepped closer, the smell of dust and old wisdom clinging to him. "History is a graveyard of ghosts," he whispered. "The only thing of value is to be awake in this very moment." "Long ago," Diogenes said, looking at the horizon, "the world tried to choose for me. They exiled me, stripped me of my currency, and told me I was nothing. I did not choose the dirt road out of spite. I chose to stop dreaming. The only real choice you have is not between left and right, but between being asleep or being awake." Cleon closed his eyes and saw two versions of his future. In one, he sat on a throne of marble, surrounded by servants but feeling utterly hollow. In the other, he sat alone in a cave, proud of his suffering but filled with bitterness. He realized that in both visions, he was playing a part written by someone else. He felt a sudden, sharp chill in his chest. "There is no wrong road," Diogenes continued, his voice softening. "A man can live honestly in a palace or a tub, but you cannot live honestly if you are choosing a path simply because you fear the alternative. You are trying to solve the riddle of your life before you have even learned the language of your own soul." Cleon took a deep breath. Slowly, he unbuckled his heavy traveler's pack and let it thud onto the earth. He leaned his staff against a nearby olive tree. "Then I will not go," he said firmly. "I will not walk toward the gold, and I will not walk toward the mist. I will stay here, in the nowhere between them, until I know who is doing the walking." Diogenes let out a laugh that shook his thin frame, a sound of pure, unadulterated joy. "Finally," he barked. "The world offers you 100 doors to keep you from noticing you are already outside. By refusing to let the world decide your direction, you have made the only choice that matters. You have chosen yourself over the map." Years later, it was said that Cleon never did leave that crossroads, yet he traveled further than any king. He learned that freedom is not the ability to choose between the options given to you, but the courage to refuse the illusion of the choice itself. And so, the question remains for you. If all the roads before you were stripped of their promises, who would you be if you simply stood still?